it was hailed as the return of the king.
Ronaldo! Cristiano Ronaldo!
Cristiano Ronaldo, let's fly! Scores the goal!
A fairy tale came true. Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest players of all time, was coming home to Manchester United. The prodigal son had returned to save the club he loved from mediocrity. The fans were euphoric. The world was watching. But 2 years later, the dream had soured into one of the most expensive and divisive experiments in the club's modern history. The question is no longer if it was a good story, but whether it was a good decision. This is the story of how Cristiano Ronaldo's return, a move built on nostalgia, ultimately exposed the deep-lying cracks at Old Trafford and may have set the club back even further. But boy, is that only half the story. Because while the ending was bitter, the individual reality was something else entirely. At 36 years old in the toughest league in the world, Ronaldo didn't just survive, he carried a broken team on his back. So, how good was Cristiano Ronaldo's return actually? Was it really a failure, or was it a final, misunderstood masterclass? To understand the magnitude of this transfer, you have to understand the context. Manchester United, since the retirement of Sir Alex Ferguson, had been a shadow of its former self, a club drifting, defined by expensive failures and a lack of direction. The summer of 2021, under Gunnar Solskjær, promised progress. Jadon Sancho and Raphael Varane had arrived. Then, the unthinkable, reports emerged that Ronaldo, a free agent, was joining rivals Manchester City. City was knocking on the door. The idea of United's greatest modern legend wearing sky blue was unthinkable.
What a relief, because I couldn't imagine him playing for Manchester City. I don't think anyone could.
When Sir Alex Ferguson made that phone call, the internet didn't just break, it shattered. Former teammates like Rio Ferdinand and Bruno Fernandes intervened with calls to Ronaldo and Mendes to persuade him to return to Old Trafford. The fan base revolted, the legends spoke out, and in a stunning 24 hours, the narrative flipped. United, spurred by sentiment and commercial appeal, swooped in. The king was coming home. It wasn't a strategic transfer, it was an emotional one. And for a brief, shining moment, it was perfect. They reached an agreement on personal terms with Ronaldo and then negotiated a fee with Juventus, which was an initial £15 million, plus up to £8 million in performance-related bonuses, totaling up to £23 million. The deal was announced on August 27, 2021, and officially completed on August 31st. It was a transfer saga that unfolded in just a matter of days, shifting from a likely move to United's rivals to a surprise emotional return to his former club, confirming his sensational homecoming. The stage was set for a fairy tale, and for one afternoon against Newcastle, Ronaldo scored 2 goals. At that moment, United sat top of the league, and the nostalgia was intoxicating. But under the surface, the tactical cracks were already forming. United had finished second the year prior with a high-pressing, counter-attacking football system. Yes, Ronaldo was a goal machine, but a pressing machine? Not so much. On an individual level, Ronaldo was, without doubt, United's most potent attacker. He produced moments of sheer, undeniable magic that papered over the ever-widening cracks. He single-handedly won them Champions League group stage points. But this individual brilliance came at a cost. Let's look at the numbers, because they don't lie. In the 2021-22 season, a 37-year-old Ronaldo scored 24 goals in all competitions. That's 18 in the Premier League. Only Mo Salah and Son Heung-min scored more. He wasn't just stat padding in garbage time either. He scored hat-tricks against Tottenham and Norwich that single-handedly won United 6 points. But his true value came in Europe. In the Champions League group stages, United was, frankly, abysmal. They had no business qualifying. Yet, time after time, in the 95th minute, there was Ronaldo. Without his 6 goals in the group stage, United finishes bottom of their group. He was the ultimate bailout for a team that had forgotten how to defend. But here is where the story gets complicated. While Ronaldo was scoring, the team was suffering. In the season prior to his arrival, United scored 73 goals and conceded 44. With him, they scored 57 goals and conceded 57 as a team. That is a 22% decrease in goals scored and a 29% increase in goals conceded. The argument was simple. To accommodate Ronaldo, Oli had to abandon the high-energy system that made them successful. Bruno Fernandes, the Portuguese Magnifico, arrived at Manchester United in January 2020. The team was struggling with creativity and consistency. He didn't just join the squad, he instantly transformed it. For the 18 months before Ronaldo returned, Bruno was arguably the most influential player in the Premier League. Almost immediately after arriving from Sporting, Bruno sparked a massive turnaround. Before Ronaldo came home, Bruno Fernandes was the undisputed king of Manchester United. He carried the creative burden of the team on his shoulders and was widely considered the club's MVP. When Ronaldo arrived, the team structure shifted to accommodate a central, traditional number 9. Bruno often found himself playing deeper or wider to create space for Ronaldo, which reduced his own chances to shoot and get into goal-scoring positions inside the box. His high volume of risky, high-reward passes that defined his earlier period were often replaced by simpler passes to feed the main striker. The ball was now funneling to one man. It was the Ronaldo FC paradox. The better he played individually, the more disjointed the team looked collectively. By November, the system collapsed, Ollie was sacked, and Ronaldo was left in a team with no identity, drifting through interim managers. Ex-Manchester United player Michael Carrick took over as caretaker manager immediately for a very short period until December. Ralf Rangnick took over as interim manager until the end of the 2021-22 season. Enter Erik Ten Hag, winning the Dutch League 3 times, KNVB Cup 2 times, and leading Ajax to the semi-finals of the 2018-19 Champions League. A manager obsessed with structure, pressing, and discipline, everything 37-year-old Ronaldo was not. The clash was inevitable. The 2022-23 season wasn't a decline, it was war. Relegated to the bench, Ronaldo watched as United actually looked better without him. The pace was faster, the press was sharper. When he did play, the magic seemed to have faded. The burst of pace was gone. The narrative shifted from savior to liability. And then, he lit the match. The interview with Piers Morgan was the final nail. He criticized the manager, the owners, the facilities, even the young players.
The players, we want the best for the club. I want the best of the club. This is why I'm coming to Manchester United. This is why I love this club. But you have some things inside the club which don't help to Manchester reach the top level.
For many, it was an unforgivable act. The club had no choice but to terminate his contract. The fairy tale was over, not with a trophy, but with a bitter and public divorce. It was a scorched earth exit strategy. The fairy tale return ended not with a trophy lift, but with a mutual termination agreement and a flight to Saudi Arabia. It was a tragic end to the club's greatest romance. So, was it a failure? Collectively, yes, but individually, absolutely not. To score 24 goals in that dysfunctional United side at 37 years of age is absurd. He did his job, he put the ball in the net. The failure wasn't Ronaldo's performance. It was the club's belief that they could drop a luxury superstar into a pressing team without consequences. Ronaldo's return was a symptom of Manchester United's problems, not the cure. It was a move driven by commercial appeal and nostalgia, not a clear-eyed footballing strategy. He was a magnificent firework, providing a spectacular but brief light before plunging the club into a darkness that revealed just how far it had truly fallen. The return of Cristiano Ronaldo will forever be a what-if story. What if he had returned to a well-run club with a solid structure? What if he had been 5 years younger? We'll never know. Instead, his second stint serves as a cautionary tale that in modern football, no single player, not even a legend, is bigger than the club or more important than the system. History will likely remember the bitter ending. But for those who watched closely, that second spell was a reminder. Even when the legs slow down and the team falls apart, Cristiano Ronaldo is inevitable.